Hey, my friends, what's going on? This is Femi Fitness, and I want to talk to you briefly about this global pandemic that we're dealing with right now. There's a lot of information out there already, some misinformation. I hope you're getting the right information about it, though. So I'm not trying to rehash all the things that have already been said, all the information that's already out there. I just want to approach this really from a fitness perspective. How can you protect yourself? Or how can you beat this virus? The coronavirus is from the same family of viruses that cause cold, that cause the common cold, that cause flu, and they pretty much all operate the same way. The reason, obviously, that this is a huge issue right now is that it's reasonably new. We haven't dealt with it before, and we're racing against time to try and handle it because, unlike the cold, common cold and then flu, which have been around or we identified them, have been around for a while. We have remedies for them. We have ways of fighting them. The coronavirus is reasonably new, so it's a bit of a challenge. At any point in time, if you take a swab or just take a sampling of your environment where you are, even on your body, there are going to be like millions and millions of viruses that are present there. So the problem, as it were, is not so much the existence or the presence of this coronavirus. The problem is how the body battles it or how the body responds to the presence of the coronavirus. This is your immune system. And these are all the viruses, okay? And the viruses are all over the place. At any point in time, you're interacting with those viruses, but you're not sick because your body's immune system, the blue man right here, your immune system is able to overpower and overcome those viruses even when they become active so that they don't make you ill. And when you do get ill, the immune system continues to fight these viruses to make sure that it overpowers them. That can only happen if your immune system is functioning appropriately. In your body, you have white blood cells. And the white blood cells, basically, you have what you call the T cells. We won't get into that. But the white blood cells, they combat any kind of infection that you have in your body. So when you have an infection or something tries to invade your system, the body mobilizes the white blood cells and they go into action. They try to combat that poison or that foreign substance or that thing that's trying to invade the system, and they try to overpower it and get rid of it. The white blood cells are part of your immune system, right? So when your immune system is functioning properly, your body is able to combat and overcome this viruses from this class of viruses when they come into the body. The problem, though, is really when your immune system is depressed or when it's compromised, when it's not at the optimal level that it should be. That's when you begin to show symptoms, and sometimes that's what leads to the fatality. And that's exactly why we have this problem here in the case of the coronavirus. It's not just the fact that there's a virus somewhere. It's not just the fact that the virus is being passed from person to person. It's the potential fatality of the symptoms of this virus when the body is not able, the immune system is not able to combat and overpower this virus and get rid of it. Let's look at something real quickly. So how can you prevent this? Been working out for a while now, and honestly, I got into it for the aesthetics. I got into it because, I wanted to look better. I wanted to be strong, really, but it was more from the aesthetics. So people look at me and be like, oh, yeah, you work out. That's the reason why I got into it. Then when I started working out, I started discovering some deeper benefits, as it were, of working out, of fitness. My career has been in finance. It's a very high energy, high demand, stressful. It really is a stressful environment for the most part. For me, then, going through that during the day, because I normally work out in the evenings, right? So I'll deal with that during the day and then go into the gym in the evening to work out. And I found out from just that routine a lot of times that After going through all the stuff during the day, the gym time was my time to de-stress. It was just how I felt after working out. Whether you familiar with the science or not, if you work out, you can describe what you feel, and you know how good you feel when you get through your workout for the day. The reason you feel good is because the body releases what they call the happy hormones. A lot of times I literally drag myself through to go work out. A lot of times, honestly, even as much as I love teaching class and I love teaching my group fitness classes and exercise and all that, there's been a lot of times I'm like, oh God, I got to do this again. I'm not really feeling like it, but there has never been a time, not one day, that I've gone through the motions, as it were, gone into it, and then finished my workout or gone through the class, and I didn't feel good. It's just a feeling, a good feeling that you have. Suddenly life doesn't look so rough. Suddenly things don't look as tough. Suddenly things are not as confusing. I'm giving all the scenarios to help you to understand the role that fitness plays in your health. Because really, if the problem with viruses is your immune system, the question then is, what are the things that can potentially affect your immune system? Let's look at a few of them. One of them is age. Age affects the immune system. Once you start getting into your 60s and 70s, your immune system is not necessarily as active as it used to be. And that's why you have people, the elderly, tend to be more susceptible to illnesses and sickness. Another thing that affects nutrition. What do you eat? The stuff that you put in your body affect the state of your immune system. Do you consume the right nutrients to help you boost your immune system, or do you put stuff in your body that poisonous to your body and will basically depress your immune system? There's genetics. There are some genetic disorders. Some people are born with immune systems are just compromised. You call a primary immune deficiency. So there's a primary. Okay. But there's also an acquired. So you can have a primary immune deficiency, but you can also have a case of an acquired immune deficiency, which is where HIV falls into. Okay. And again, if you're familiar with it, you understand that HIV is not what kills. Really, what kills is the inability of their body to combat the many organisms or the attacks from bacteria and viruses, all the common things that everybody else is exposed to every day that we're able to get past. For a person who's immunocompromised, that is a problem. Another thing that affects the immune system will be underlying diseases. Okay. So if a person has an underlying disease, and the classical case of that is diabetes, for instance. If a person has diabetes, their immune system is basically compromised. So again, that means that they are more susceptible to being ill when they have like a viral or bacterial or infection. And last one is stress. When you are stressed, and stress obviously could be physical, it could be mental, emotional, and all that. The interesting with stress is it doesn't matter where it starts. It ultimately always affects everything. So if your body is stressed because you're not resting enough, you're not sleeping enough, you're not giving yourself enough time for your body to recuperate from hard or stressful situation that you're putting it through, ultimately, of course, your body is going to respond by slowing down. But when you stress physically, you begin to get stressed emotionally, mentally. In the same way, when you're in a stressful situation and it's not handled properly, it begins to take a toll on your body. So again, stress, it's an interesting one because it doesn't matter where it starts from, whether it's a physical stress or an emotional or mental stress, it ultimately always pulls in the other. So physical will pull in emotional, emotional will pull in physical. Good. All right. So these are the factors that we're looking at today. Let's take age out, right? Because there's really not very much that you can do about your age. If you whatever age you are, if you're 70 and 80, you're 70 and 80. If you're 60 and over, you are. That's just the age that you are. You can't really control that. So if we rule out age, let's take out age. Nutrition. You have some control, obviously. You have a lot of control, actually, when it comes to nutrition. You need to do some study, know what you need to put in your body, the necessary vitamins that you need to have in your system, where to get them from, and so on and so forth. But I don't want to talk about nutrition either. That's another conversation on its own. I also don't want to talk about the genetics of it. Another conversation. I don't want to talk about underlying diseases either. Not in this conversation. That's another conversation on its own. What I do want to focus on, though, is this part of it, the stress factor, and how this is affected by fitness. Let's take a look. I'm going to draw a chart here that will try to explain this thing probably a little better for you. So we have a chart here, your y-axis, your x-axis going up here. Over here, I'm going to draw an imaginary line. So let's say this is the good line. Okay. Under here, I'm going to put this here as the intensity of your workout. Right? So how often do you work out and how much do you put into your workout when you do work out? Intensity of your workout. Over here, I'm going to put right here, up here, your immune status. So going up here is your immune status, going up here, the intensity of your workout. If I draw a curve using this graph, if I draw a curve like this now, it goes from here and comes down here, this graph. All right. We can look at this as basically you're looking at that. The immune status, the status of your immunity or your immunity level compared to the intensity of your workout or the regularity of your workout. If you don't work out at all, we could put you here in this category here from this point to little to no workout. Just right there. I'll put a second group here, moderate workout, moderate exercise. And then over here, I'll go to excessive because something good can turn out bad too if you do too much of it. So you have here little to no workout on the left. You have your moderate workout and then you have your excessive workout. Moderate here is where you want to be, right? So in the moderate workout, I'll say you're working out at least 3 days to maybe 5, no more than 5 days, really. This is what I often recommend. So 3 to 5 days, no more than 5 days. I often tell people take 2 days off where you're not doing any kind of exercise whatsoever, and you just let your body power down and basically refresh itself. When you work out a little, just a little bit, or do a little bit of exercise, you can see that your immune system kind of moves up, shifts up just a little bit. Basically, the amount of effort that you put into your workout or your fitness life is directly proportional at this point to the level of your immune status. However, once you get to a certain level, right, and you begin to peak out, you get to a point where you working out, you move from no to doing moderate exercises, and now you're working out a lot more. Then you go over when you're doing too much. Because I know people who feel like they need to work out 7 days a week. Nobody needs to work out 7 days a week. I don't care what anybody tells you. It doesn't matter if you're competing or not. Nobody needs to work out 7 days a week. But again, we won't get into all those extra details here. But the point here is that you go over the peak and then you go to the other side where when you begin to exercise too much, now you put your body into a stressed state. And remember, once your stress goes up, your immunity goes down, right? So whenever your stress goes up, so if we have this up here somewhere as a stress level, so if you look at this as a stress level, up here, down here, okay? Once your stress level goes up, your immunity goes down. Once your stress level goes down, your immunity goes up. So if I were to draw a curve, really, of your stress level, I'll pull one that goes from here down here. It's exactly the opposite of what we had for your immunity. So when your stress level is up, your immunity level is down. When your stress level is up, your immunity level is down. When your stress level is down, your immunity level is up. This is very important because remember again that if you're looking at the interrelationship between your immunity and your susceptibility to viral infection, to the coronavirus, basically you are at your optimal level of protection when your immunity level is high. And that means that you also at the point, or you want to be at the point where you have the least amount of stress. So when I talk about going to the gym and working out and how it makes me feel, and I think this is something that pretty much anyone who's been working out for a while can testify to. You may not know the science behind it. You may not understand exactly how it happens. But you know for a fact that when you work out, you feel happy. It's like it releases the happy hormones into your system. The stress hormones, we're not going deep into, but just know cortisol and things like that. They kind of depressed, and then the happy hormones are released into your system. You feel good. You feel refreshed. You happy. Your happy life is not nearly as stressful. Whenever you're in that state, your immune system is at its optimal state. All other things, of course, being equal, right? The other factors that we mentioned earlier. So the interesting thing when it comes to age, let me just go back to age pretty quickly, is that you can see here, so this same curve, like we look at the immunity and all that, and this, when we look at the x-axis going from left to right, you can see here, we can use this intensity of workout and we can change that also to age, okay? So this could also be the age. So when little children, the immunity is quite weak. I mean, they're developing the immunity. So when you just have a child, that's why usually when you have a child, you don't want to expose the child immediately to a ton of people, right? So you see the mothers or parents, usually they don't want, they tell you when you come to the hospital, wash your hands and all that before you carry the child. Because at that point in time, the child's immunity system or the immune system is not very well developed yet. So children, and this right here is actually showing us exactly what's happening right now with the coronavirus. If you look at it, the people that are most at risk of fatality with this virus, they're not the ones that are most at risk of contracting the virus. Because really, any and everybody can come in contact with the virus, and any and everybody does. But for most of the people who are in this population in the center, they will have the virus. They may not have symptoms, or they may just have really mild symptoms. The people who are most likely to have fatal response to the virus infection are those the youngest and the oldest. So once you get past 60, I think the rough cutoff age here is somewhere around 60, right? From 60, immunity is going down at that age, and so you become more susceptible to fatality with the virus. Having said that, though, it's been proven, it's been shown that people who work out even minimally have immune systems several years beneath their actual age. So you have someone who's 60, 70 years old who's been working out, and they may have the same immune system as someone who's in their 30s. This has been proven scientifically, by the way. All right. So when I talk about beating this virus, this is another reason why it is so important for you to work out. You need to have a lifestyle of fitness. This is not about just looking good. And of course, looking good is great. We all want to look good. I see that as a byproduct of it. But when it comes to even just your actual health, working out makes a ton of difference. You want to be involved, or you want to engage yourself in a fitness program, a fitness regimen that works, something you're excited about, something that's not boring to you, something you see yourself committing to. Because again, it's a lifestyle, it's a lifetime journey. It's not just, oh, I'm going to the Bahamas in like 2 months or whatever, so yeah, let me get my body right kind of thing. I mean, we do that too, don't get it wrong. We do that occasionally. It's like, okay, if you have like an event coming up, then you kick it to overdrive because you want to have a certain look. But generally speaking, you need to take fitness seriously. It's honestly literally a life and death issue. The body is amazingly capable of sustaining itself. It really is. If you put the right things in it, if you listen to it and pay attention to it, and if you respond to the little signals that the body gives you. So just wanted to talk to you real quick about this. It's very important to understand this, because when you understand how your immunity plays a role in your susceptibility to viral infection, or in fact any kind of infection, but particularly viral infection, and when you understand how stress affects your immune system, and then when you understand how fitness has a strong place in kind of modeling how stress can have an impact on you, or how stressed you are, period, you begin to appreciate and see the invaluable benefit of working out. Hope this has been useful for you. I hope it's been helpful for you. I hope this is motivating you in some ways to get up and do something. Do something for yourself, for the people you love, and for the people who love you. Thanks for listening. This is Femi Fitness. Have a good one. Get up there and let's get it going. Let's go.
Money that I don't accept. Something like this.